She never thought anyone would ever look at her again with kindness, let alone love. Life had not been gentle with Clara, and when her husband left after their daughter was born, she believed she carried a curse that scared men away. The whispers in town were harsh, the stares even harsher. A woman with a child? No man will want her, they said, as though her daughter was a burden instead of the light that kept her alive. Every day she pushed forward, braiding little Lily's hair with shaking hands, working long hours to provide food, convincing herself she did not need companionship, that love was a luxury meant for others but never for her. But there was one man who noticed what others failed to see. He was a cowboy who lived on the outskirts, quiet and strong, carrying himself with the weight of battles fought in silence. His name was Daniel, and he had seen Clara struggle more times than she knew, fetching water from the well with tired arms, fixing a broken gate with no one's help, holding her little girl close when the wind howled against the cabin walls. One evening, when the sun spilled gold over the horizon and the shadows stretched long across the yard, Daniel rode up on his horse. Clara froze, brushing dirt from her skirt, worried he had come with pity or judgment, the two things she despised most. But instead, Daniel dismounted and walked straight toward Lily, who sat on the steps fiddling with her braids. He crouched low, meeting her at eye level, his rough hands surprisingly gentle as he took one braid between his fingers and said, "These aren't tight enough. Let me show you how it's done." Clara watched, stunned into silence, her breath catching in her throat. No man had ever shown such tenderness toward her daughter, and the sight pierced through walls she had built high and unyielding. Lily's eyes lit up, her giggles mixing with the hum of cicadas. And in that moment, Clara realized she had been wrong all along. It wasn't that her daughter made her unworthy of love. It was that the right kind of love hadn't come yet. The kind that saw Lily not as baggage, but as a blessing. Daniel's hands moved with care, weaving the braid tighter, neater, stronger, just as he intended to weave himself into their lives without force, but with quiet certainty. Clara found her eyes watering, the kind of tears that burned because they came from a place deeper than sorrow. They came from hope, fragile but real. Daniel glanced up at her, his gaze steady, unashamed, as if to tell her he wasn't going anywhere, that both she and Lily were worth every moment he could give. For the first time in years, Clara didn't feel like a burden to be tolerated, but a woman to be cherished, a mother whose child was not a weight but a gift. The evening stretched long, filled with laughter that had been missing from their home for far too long, and as the last strand of Lily's hair fell into a perfect braid, Clara's heart unraveled in the best way possible. Love, she realized, was never gone. It had only been waiting for the right hands to braid it back together, and maybe, just maybe, this cowboy was the one meant to stay. Friends, if this story touched your heart, if you believe love can heal wounds no one else can see, then I invite you to join our journey by subscribing to the channel. Each story we share carries a reminder that no one is too broken, no one is too unworthy, and sometimes the love we think will never come finds us when we least expect it. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's keep these stories alive together, because like Clara and Lily, we all deserve a new beginning, and maybe the next story will be the one you've been waiting for. The days that followed were different, though Clara tried hard not to let her heart hope too much. She had spent years building walls, and though Daniel's kindness had slipped through the cracks, she feared it was only temporary. But Daniel kept showing up, not with grand gestures, but with the kind of quiet presence that made a world of difference. He'd stop by to help mend the fence, bring a basket of fresh apples from town, or simply sit on the porch with Lily while she told him stories only a child could imagine. Clara watched them one evening from the window, her daughter's laughter filling the air as Daniel showed her how to tie knots with a piece of rope. Something stirred inside her, something she thought had long since died: trust. It wasn't trust in men, for they had disappointed her before, but trust in the idea that maybe she didn't have to do this alone anymore. Daniel never treated Lily as someone else's child. He braided her hair again and again, sometimes lopsided, sometimes perfect, but always with patience and care. Clara could see in his eyes that he didn't just love the girl because she belonged to her. He loved her because she was Lily, bright and bold and worthy of love on her own. And slowly, Clara began to let go of the belief that she was unworthy too. One evening, as the sun sank low and painted the sky with fire, Daniel took Clara's hand. She almost pulled away, old fears screaming inside her. but his touch was steady, warm, and sure. "Clara," he said softly, "you've been strong for too long. Let someone be strong for you." Her breath caught, her eyes stung, and for the first time she allowed herself to lean into him, not as a woman afraid, but as one finally willing to believe in love again. In that moment, Clara knew her life had already changed, not because Daniel rescued her, but because he reminded her that love wasn't something she had lost. It was something she was finally ready to accept.